Hi everyone, welcome to Shivers. For today's Halloween Haunt review, we took it back to last year, and we went back to Pennhurst Asylum near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In 1903, the Pennsylvania legislature authorized the creation of the Eastern State Institution for the Feeble-Minded and Epileptic, and a commission was organized to take into consideration and determine a placement for construction to care for these residents. The commission discovered approximately 4,000 feeble-minded people in insane asylums, country care hospitals, reformatories, and prisons who were in immediate need for specialized institutional care, thus were moved to Pennhurst Asylum for care. In 1981, a Time magazine article described the place as having a history of being understaffed, dirty, and violent. In 1983, 9 employees were indicted on charges ranging from slapping and beating patients, including some in wheelchairs, to arranging for patients to assault each other. The hospital had a horrible reputation and was officially closed due to poor treatment and living conditions in 1987. Renovations began in 1990, and the entertainment piece we see today really kicked off in 2010. As it stands today, Pennhurst offers daytime tours, museum tours, paranormal ghost hunts, and their haunted attraction in October. Pennhurst was recognized as one of the scariest places on earth by Travel Channel's Fear Festival. Pennhurst Asylum offers 3 haunted attractions and leads you directly from one to the other: the legendary Pennhurst Asylum, the morgue, and the tunnels. Each attraction is a walkthrough indoors, and the actors can touch you and separate you from your group. For this year in particular, I was expecting it to be very similar to last year. I would have been happy if it was exactly the same, because for those of you who have listened to last year's Halloween Haunt reviews, Pennhurst was well above and beyond all of the other reviews. I still think, I don't want to spoil the review before it even comes out, but I still think that Pennhurst Asylum is just something genuinely unique. It's not often that you're going to be able to have a Halloween haunted attraction in a place that is haunted itself, in a place that is so legendary itself, with all of that history that we just heard. You have that layered behind the scares and the actors and the makeup and all of that. It's so unique, and just, I can't rave about it enough. So that was my expectation going into it this year again. Somehow, some way, it exceeded my expectations yet again. We go through the same type of organization. So when you first walk in, parking is free, which is a great way to start. And then you follow these string lights all the way through the parking lot, the security line, everything. And you get to walk past a lot of the Pennhurst buildings as well. You then get in line for the first one, which is the legendary Pennhurst Asylum. And this is you walking through the main building. This line on a Friday night at 7 took us maybe 15 minutes to get through. Once you're through this into the group, you walk through the actual building, and this building was where a lot of the creativity came from last year, and the same is true now. All of the rooms were pretty much different aside from 1 or 2, but they were all just so well done. The lights are on, you can see what's going on, you can see the decorations. The actors do touch you, and I do think it is a little silly because they kind of like tickle you, and I even had my hair in French braids, and they came up behind me and were playing with my braids. So it takes you out of the scare aspect of it and just makes it a little bit silly, but it is still really fun nonetheless. So it's more lighthearted touching than grabbing you, ripping you, and all of that. But the upstairs area, the one room in particular I really want to highlight, is a room that was full of all of these dolls. I'm a big fan of dolls. I feel the same way about dolls and clowns. I think they're creative things to add to Halloween time. But the doll room was so cool because you had 5-foot, 6-foot standing dolls, and not a shot in the world that I thought people would be standing in them because they just look so plasticky, but there was people in them. So you didn't know what was a doll, you didn't know what was real, and it was just so well done. And then at the end of that room, there was this marionette-esque person on the wall, fake a fake body and body parts flying around and a real actor playing with the body parts. But it was done, it was like, yeah, this is really cool. So that was really the highlight of upstairs. Last year, the highlight of upstairs was the bunk bed room, which was also there this year again, which I was very happy to see again. But you walk through the actual bunk beds, and they seem to be the real beds that were used at Pennhurst. And the people who were on the beds were in straitjackets and really did look crazy. So it was super cool. It just made it feel that much more authentic. This year in particular for upstairs and just, I would say for the entire haunt in general, they seem to have a lot more of the sci-fi piece. So they even had Stranger Things music playing in the one room. They had a lot of neon lights. They had a lot of aliens and jars and things like that, which is fun. Not necessarily my style, but fun. Once you get through the the legendary Pennhurst Asylum, you walk down a set of stairs, you go outside, and you're in line for the morgue. So that line to attraction to line to attraction, it moves very swiftly and easily because the only people who are in line for, let's say number 2, the morgue, are people who have already gone through the first one. So it keeps things moving, which is fantastic. So the morgue is actual downstairs in the morgue of that same main building, which makes it all the creepier. We were even joking about people who were the actors and like, how scared do you have to be just standing there in between groups of people knowing you're in a real morgue of this haunted building. But the morgue was pretty cool. It wasn't anything to rave about. It was very similar layout to upstairs. They had a lot of the sci-fi stuff. There was one room in particular that I thought was very cool. They had 2 mannequins and just fake people that were facing these TVs. And both of them had their brains out, and then the brains would squirt water at you as you walked by. So that was fun. Same thing with the bathroom. They had a very dirty bathroom scene. You could tell it was all makeup, not necessarily real. But you walk by the toilets, and the toilets would spray you with water. So it was fun. And then the last part of it is the tunnels. I have to say, adding in a little bit of paranormal to this review, the tunnels are creepy as hell. I was the very back of our entire group. No one's behind me. And I really don't know if it was the music. I don't know what was going on, but it felt like there was shuffling. And it sounded like there was shuffling right behind me. No one around, not actors, no nothing. So I was very weirded out in the tunnels from the paranormal side of things. I kept feeling like I needed to look over my shoulder. So, but the tunnel this time in particular led a different way than it did last year. So now, not only are you getting this new experience of the tunnels and having it be extra creepy because now there's just different lights on the ground and a little bit darker, a little bit more foggy, but you then exit to this very cool, somewhat fair-esque hangout area. So they have corn dogs and pizza and popcorn and cotton candy and their merch table, more areas for actual photos that you could take, and they have now this wooded area that you can walk through on your way to the parking lot with huge animatronics. That area alone has to cost upwards of $500,000, just the amount and the quality of these animatronics. Amazing. I cannot rave about it enough. But moving on to the ratings. So for artistry, of course, I would give it a 5 out of 5. Production itself, 5 out of 5. Customer service, I would also give it a 5 out of 5. People there are so nice. The people who are working have bright green vests on, so you know exactly who to ask for help. Along your way of walking, they'll say, have a great time, hope you enjoy. And I just think that's really nice. For environment, of course, 5 out of 5. I can't rave about being at Pennhurst enough. For decor, also 5 out of 5. Very cool to walk around. You can tell it's just probably a multi-million-dollar investment into this haunt attraction, and it's amazing. For makeup, we upped the score from last year to now a 5 out of 5. And for scares, went down a little bit to 3 out of 5. So that gives our score a total of 4.8 out of 5.